Hey YouTube, this is JR's Live Journals, and I am about to do a commentary because Kevin Conroy, the biggest Batman voice actor of all time, has just recently parted ways with this world. He passed away of cancer a couple days ago, and it really is sad because he was a very well-respected voice actor and the guy who brought Bob Kane's masterpiece superhero to life in terms of giving him a voice and a overall personality in general. It's just sad to know that Kevin Conroy has done a lot for, the Batman franchise in regards to the animated features and the video games like the Arkham games. In my opinion, those and Resident Evil are the best games ever, as well as Mario and stuff to include, but anyway, aside from that, Kevin Conroy has done, an outstanding job of Batman. He was Batman even up until the more recent days and all that, because, I know he wasn't really active in the voice acting business, but I do know he voiced also the Injustice Batman. Probably would have still voiced him in the upcoming Injustice 3, which we still have no awareness on when it's going to be released or any of that, but I'm pretty sure if he were to still be alive, they for sure would have casted him to come back for the third one, but I don't think that's going to happen. It looks like a recast is in order, sadly. But I won't go further into that. I am, however, doing a commentary of Mask of the Phantasm. Now, this has been said to be one of the overall greatest Batman movies of all time, despite it being an animation over a live action. Unlike Batman 89, Batman Forever, those are live action features. When it comes to animations of Batman, this is probably one of my top favorite Batman movies myself. It is, I think, the first overall live action Batman movie I ever watched, too. I rented it in summer of 97 and, thought it was a little weird and all that, but I didn't really officially grow on the animated series until a little bit later after I watched this movie. It's kind of a long story, and I can't really break it down because it's complex. But, I have been nonetheless a Batman fan since I was a kid, nonetheless, and, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, the Schumacher films, this animated series. But when it comes to Mask of the Phantasm, this came out Christmas season of 93, and hardly anybody really gave it any recognition. It didn't really do too good when it was in the theater. But then it came out on video, got a lot of rental sales, and, it became a masterpiece, sometime after it came out in the theater. It's like you just didn't really see it coming for this movie. It's like people probably were thinking when they saw the previews of it in 93 and when it was out in theaters that it had no chance of success ever, but it turns out being one of the most looked at pieces of Batman medias of all time. And right here you start out with Chucky Saul, that opener with Batman fighting Chucky's goons, and now the Phantasm appears. He pulls out his gun and he finds out it's useless, because right now we know nothing about the Phantasm. This is a newly introduced Batman villain for the DCAU. I tell you, Bruce Timm really had a great imagination when it came to animating Batman, even toning down a lot of the adult content and making it a little less violent so it's more appropriate for children to watch and enjoy too. It did come on Fox Kids back in the mid-90s, 92 to 95, and it was, widely, fairly watched. I mainly only saw a few episodes when I was waiting for Power Rangers to come on when it was kind of in its original run and repeats. But then when it came on Cartoon Network, I got even more into it, especially when it hit Toonami. Because it was personally one of my go-to Toonami shows when in the late 90s, early 2000s, along with Dragon Ball Z and all that. Superman, the animated series, aired on that block too, but oh boy, Chucky Saul, boy, poor Chucky. He's about to lose his life. And it's kind of amazing on how they used, some original bad guys that weren't featured in the show, like Chucky Saul, for instance, being kind of similar to Roland Daggett in many ways. And they later comes Buzz Bronski, kind of similar to Rupert Thorne. It's like, you know, if they decided to put them in the show, if they hadn't have died in this movie, I could have probably even seen them, like, competing with one another or teaming up one or the other. Because they like, so much reflect off of that. In fact, even, you know, Salvatore the Weezer Valestral, that probably would have went down good with Penguin even. And here's Arthur Reeves. Now, he was in the comics, but it was just so long ago. I never read any of the comics with him, but he's the councilman of Gotham City, and he's showing off his dishonesty opinions and saying what the press wants to hear, because that's what politicians are in many cases about. And yeah, he's got a lot in store for him later throughout this movie. And yeah, right here we have Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, also who voiced Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man the Animated Series, which also was a 90s cartoon on Fox Kids. Apparently Batman collected a piece of Chucky Shaw's windshield when the Phantasm attacked him, and he's analyzing it. Yeah, even Batman knows that a lot of these supernatural things usually have some other purpose behind them rather than dealing with the arts of magic and everything. Yeah, and we have more of Arthur Reeves, and he's talking to Batman's love interest in the movie, Andrea Belmont, voiced by Dana Delaney, who was in Tombstone. That's another movie that came out in the year of 93. Only it was released, I think, much earlier in the year, like the beginning. This was released in the end of 93, so there's kind of a difference in the releases despite being the same year. All right. And, yeah, I know. It's like, when it came, but, you know, it is wonderful how, the animation in this movie, The Mask of the Phantasm, is the same as it was in the animated series, maybe a little sharper and with more effort. Because apparently Bruce Timm could, like, higher budget this movie on account of it being a theatrical movie and being a full-length feature opposed to, like, a 21-minute episode that would air on Fox Kids. And so, therefore, you know, more money and budget and stuff to spend, he could put a little bit more effort in the animation and all that, making it look a little bit better. And it's kind of funny because the other Batman animated movie, Sub-Zero, had worse animation to it than what the animated series had. The regular animated series had way superior animation to Sub-Zero. Yeah, Sub-Zero, I mean, I still liked it, though. At least it was on top of Batman and Robin. Yeah, and it was supposed to be like a tie-in with Batman and Robin, but due to its bad reviews and dissatisfactions, they held it on the shelf until early 98. But yeah, I mean, but the DCAU, you know, I mean, it's like one of the bestest Batman universes. Kevin Conroy did such a wonderful job with Batman and Bruce Wayne. Again, may he rest in peace. Sad to know that we lost a brilliant Batman voice talent. The leading, finest one, if that. And here's Batman reminiscing on his past with his parents. He's about to have a recollective moment. Yeah, it just goes to show you, on the surface, he may look like the happiest man on earth with all that money and cash and wealth, but deep down at all, he is very depressed and dark. You know, couldn't have that normal life he always wanted. I mean, it all changed for him at such an early age. And it's just sad to know that, Andrea lost her mother. But she does pay her respects at the graveyard and everything, which is a wonderful thing. And the story Andrea's telling Bruce here, for like a first-time conversation, at the cemetery, it sounds to me like Andrea had a pretty close relationship with her mother. And her father is always busy dealing with the gangsters and the mobs and everything. It just kind of shows you, like, what drove Andrea into being what she becomes. And this movie has been out since 1993, so, my brother ain't here for me to, this time tell me, not get ahead of myself. But yeah, Andrea Beaumont is the Phantasm. Yeah, I mean, they probably wanted you to think that it's most likely her father, Carl Beaumont, like he came back as a ghost or something. She probably, maybe took recordings of her father talking and decided to, put it in, program it into that mask to make it sound like her father. Now we're having, a origins moment with about how the DCAU Batman was first starting out. And he's he puts on a ski mask and everything, and he's trying to see here what he can do to stop the crime in Gotham City and the underbelly and everything. And it's kind of amazing because in Batman Begins, the Nolan movie, Bruce does something kind of similar to this before he gets his bat suit and everything. You heard Mr. Kung Fu. Say your prayers, sucker. Yeah, boy, amazing on how he just did that. And he throws those little blade things, like stars that ninjas use. I mean, after all, Bruce Wayne did have a Japanese mentor who taught him and trained him how to fight. That's what practically brought him to this, so I'm pretty sure his Japanese sensei from Japan probably gave him those weapons to take back with him to Gotham. Because he knew that's what it was going to take to stop the forces of evil in Gotham City, as well as the criminal underbellies and everything. And pretty amazing, the leader of the gang that he was just fighting attempts to escape and make a run for it in his truck, in his cargo truck, and Bruce apparently has great reflexes to catch up to it, and he's jumping on top of the truck. Yeah, and it's there's Detective Bullock with his coffee. It's kind of amazing. It's showing a young Detective Bullock here. Yeah, and Detective Bullock has always feuded with Batman. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. Bruce in the ski mask, he grabs a hammer and busts the guy's windshield. Yeah, now there's smoke. I tell you, amazing on how Bruce Timm, even in the actual show, the smoke and stuff kind of looked a little on the more 3D realistic side to some degree. Amazing how he puts this all together, and I guess we could arguably say that this movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, along with the Batman the Animated Series, let alone bringing it to the big screen, it's also a little bit of an origin story. Because it never showed that origin side of Batman on the first episode in Leather Wings. It just had him dealing with Man-Bat and everything. And, people were probably wondering for a year already on, how this adaptation of Batman, started his journey into it and everything. And this movie says it all. And it doesn't even take that long. I mean, just amazing on how it just shows and reveals so much. And really love the way Kevin Conroy could voice both Batman and Bruce Wayne. And, you know, seeing as the fact that this animated series was most inevitably a spin-off for Tim Burton's Batman movies, you know, 89 and you know, Batman Returns, its sequel. After all, it came out a few months after Batman Returns. It, at the same time, is a bit of a tie-in for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, kind of, too, because, especially Batman Forever, seeing as the fact that, you know, I mean, we knew, like, if it was already said and announced that Batman Forever was coming out, even, like, 94, even, maybe even around the time this movie came out or something. And, you know, I mean, in many ways, this series, in some factors, kind of relates to the Schumacher series, but it's definitely more on a darker level, nonetheless, though. She's dancing on the piano, and then she calls out, "Brucey, where are you?" And here we are back at the cemetery, and Buzz Bronski is going to pay his respects to his old partner, Chucky Saul. Kind of amazing, you know, so long has passed since all this happened, and it's obvious that these gangsters have decided to go their separate ways, hire their own set of henchmen and everything. They say the Bat iced this guy. I know, says the guy as he lights a match to smoke his cigarette. He puts like a wreath right next to the flowers, then knocks over like the vase of flowers that was right next to it. But yeah. The Phantasm is about to attack Buzz. Fell right over a wheelbarrow. And he's decided to pick up a mallet or whatever, or like one of those, like, I can't remember what those things are called, but unfortunately he clawed off the top of the weapon. All right, freak. Catch this! Yeah, I couldn't remember if he said catch or fetch. Oh, man. Yeah, what does right? Because it went right through him, her. Oh, boy. His henchmen have to come to his aid, but apparently, yes, even Buzz realizes that, yeah, he realizes that ain't Batman as well this time. Somebody out for a deeper amount of vengeance. Oh, man, he can't even get out of there. He's in too deep, oh, man. Buzz Bronski's life is about to end. All right. Now we see the other guy who was involved, Sal the Weezer Valestra. And he remembers what happened to his other Chucky Saul. He knows his life is in danger now. Yeah, and he has to reach for his oxygen because he was a heavy smoker in his younger days. It kind of led to this. But yeah, I mean, it's just pretty amazing on how, for years when I watched Batman 89, my brother pointed out to me like a difference, like a particular feature that the emblem on the bat suit had compared to this and Batman Returns is that he had like, like in that center like thing of the bat, there were like three of those like little pointy things on the bottom. Well, it generally just has one. I completely overlooked that for the longest time. I think she most likely has figured it out now. And here we have Batman looking upon them. Yeah, I sure was shocked when I found out the news. I was sad. It really is sad that Kevin Conroy isn't with us. I just couldn't even believe it when I first found out on like my MSN homepage on my laptop. Like I had to look it up on Google and like other sources, and yeah, it was confirmed. It's just so terribly sad that Kevin Conroy just passed away too soon. He was such a great guy too. I already was like real friendly. It's good to know that my brother got to meet him when he was alive. World of the Future, yeah. Which later goes out of business. Pretty amazing. He stumbles upon that car and he's already coming up with ideas for his Batmobile. Carl Beaumont called Bruce Wayne elusive. And we're about to see the Joker before he fell into the vat of chemicals and became the Joker. Yeah, there's so much of an enigma to the Joker. I'll admit that one biker that's going after the guy with the money, in the cash box, he looks similar to John Corbin Metallo from Superman the Animated Series, in the facial wise anyway, and his eyes. Oh man, he threw that guy in the water. Yep. Oh boy, this is amazing. Yeah, and the other guy comes with a baseball bat. Yep, Bruce knew he had what it took. The one guy, piloting the motorcycle, laughing it away while the other looks like he's about to barf at any moment. Amazing on how Andrea is like somewhat responsible for Bruce becoming Batman, like completely. She isn't like wholly responsible, but Well, he's going to have to recollect somewhere else. The police and their chopper and the searchlight came upon him. Yeah, I noticed Arthur had to kind of like look both ways to see if like anybody would see him go in the car. Otherwise, that would end up getting him kicked out of the office right there. It's Abe Vigoda who voices Sal Valestral. Yep, old Abe Vigoda. He's been in quite a lot of movies. Even like in that Christmas movie Prancer, he was in that. Even Good Burger, still working there after all those years. Yep, now Batman has to look for more evidence to see what's going on with the Phantasm and the murderings of the gangsters. Yep, and Carl Beaumont was involved with them. It's pretty amazing on how Bruce became engaged just for that one little bit. Well, now he's discovered the Batcave, which is also great. But not so good news here. Well, it's showing you the rise of Batman in the DCAU world right here. Even Alfred's kind of intimidated by the way he looks and is coming across. He knows that this is going to work after all. And now we see that amusement park of the future, only now it's abandoned, out of business. Nobody's even bothered really to pick it up. Yeah, those things kind of do look a little like C-3PO. And speaking of C-3PO, Luke Skywalker's character, the Joker from this cartoon series and movie, is about to come into play. I hate that song. Yep. Well, he sees he's got a reunion already. Yeah, it's amazing on how Mark Hamill was able to voice the Joker, and when originally Tim Curry was supposed to voice the Joker. And the other day on YouTube, I actually saw where they finally released footage of Tim Curry voicing the Joker before they dubbed over it with Mark Hamill's voice. It actually wasn't nearly as scary as I would have thought it would be, but Mark Hamill, of course, hit the nail right on the head when he did agree to voice him, and he's come a long way with the role. Before we had Techno Dogs, Joker had Rusty. Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around. That's a very quotable quote from the Joker in this movie. Yeah, I know in regards to Kevin Conroy's just recent passing away, Mark Hamill sent his condolences, and Tara Strong did too. A little bit before I decided to do this commentary on this movie, I actually was watching the '60s Adam West show. I have it on Blu-ray. Looks pretty cool too on Blu-ray. But I tell you, I think Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, one of their purposes in life was to voice Batman and the Joker. It's like, man, it's like, I'm pretty sure Bob Kane himself was very content when he realized such a great job these two actors did with the interactions of, both the Joker and Batman. Okay, another Phantasm scene coming up. Yep, most likely Joker poisoned Sal with his laughing toxin, and yeah, apparently he beat the Phantasm to it. And he placed a bomb on his corpse, which obviously caused the explosion. Oh yeah, the showdown between Batman and the Phantasm. It's supposed to really get. It's going to be really getting exciting here. I'm going to need to take like a water break or something here, and just after this battle. Stay away. This is not your fight. This madness ends now. Similar to Batman's smoke pellet, kind of a similar mechanism to what the Phantasm had when it come to the Vanishing Act. All right, we continue the vlog here. Yep. Still watching Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, they even put blood in the movie. This movie actually came close to getting a PG-13 rating, according to what some online sources say about it. I'll admit, that cop that's shooting the Batman mask and the cape, he looks like Cosgrove a little bit from Freakazoid. Reminds you a little bit of that part with the mask, you know, where Peggy Brant saves Stanley Ipkiss from Lieutenant Calloway and the cops. It remarkably resembles that part, I think. Yeah, and I did a review on that movie. Oh, well. Yep, we see Joker right there again. Yep, Joker before he fell into the vat of chemicals. We know even he's tied into this now. Hey, even Batman's kind of guessing that Carl Beaumont could be the Phantasm, but I know that no, it isn't. It obviously isn't, though. It's her. But looks like Bruce is finally forgiven Andrea after all these years, and it would appear that they're back together. Well, anyway, Batman's about to find out that the Joker was involved with the people Andrea's father was involved with. Apparently, he had a red colored pencil or like some sort of red pencil, and he's drawing a face on Joker's mouth. He's already figured it out. Yep, that was Joker before he fell into the vat of chemicals in that picture. It's pretty amazing that in this movie, Arthur Reeves. The guy who voices him is the son of the guy who voiced Mayor Hamilton Hill in the show, Mayor Hill. Lloyd Bachner, his son, Hart Bachner, voices Arthur. Yeah, pretty amazing on how even Joker knows what Arthur's done and that he's been suppressing what he really is during his political run. But seeing is the fact that Batman's suspecting that the Phantasm is Carl and that Joker is suspecting that Arthur could be the Phantasm, it's kind of amazing on how we're getting closer to solving the mystery on who is behind everything. Yeah, when Joker shushes Arthur, he doesn't want him to tell Andrea that he's in his office. Yeah, otherwise, it probably would have been more than just his laughing gas coming for him. Yeah, Joker kind of made a adult reference when he said the spawn of his loins just happens to call you. And now Arthur is insane, affected by Joker's laughing toxin, and is in the hospital. Oh boy. It really does make you feel for Arthur here, but at the same time, his political corruption is maybe more or less what had this coming for him. Kind of amazing on how I think Arthur's skin's starting to kind of turn a little paler and white because it's an after effect from the laughing toxin had on him. There's even a comic book that represents the sequel to this, a follow-up to this movie. Never read the comic, but Arthur does appear in it, though, and he's, like the Joker, crazy. Tries to get revenge on Batman and the Phantasm, too, in it, from what I understand. I don't know for sure. I've never read it, but... Well, he's already let out that out of the bag. He's told Batman the truth about what's gone on this whole time. Yeah, so apparently that money that Beaumont owed that led to his death was the stuff that I think he lended to Arthur for his political campaign. I'm kind of hinting on here. Yep, and the weird thing is Andre didn't even find out the truth about that. But even if he wanted to tell the truth, he would have been reported to the police, his political campaign would have ended much sooner. Something he obviously wouldn't have wanted. He never could fit his ego. Yep, Batman going against the Joker as always. And Joker sent one of his little plane bombs to attack him. Now back at Joker's lair. Yeah, the Joker just picks up the apple off the stairs and eats it. Yeah, thing of baloney. Yeah, another adult reference in the show, feeling the old tonight. Yep, and Joker ain't falling for it. Yeah, this movie, you know, I mean, even though it's about like a kid, it's a spin-off of or like a thing for a kids show. It's like it's got some grown-up, like it's got some adult references in it. It's pretty amazing. I'm watching my DVD of this movie. I don't have the case for it anymore. I just keep them like in like a whole bunch of like a pack, you know, kind of like a CD case. I no longer have the regular case because when I moved, you know, I didn't have enough money I didn't have enough room to like put as many boxes up and like move with me, and I wanted to like save that. So well, man, yeah, he just hits her in the head with that baloney and all that. I can imagine if that were a fire hydrant, that would have knocked her right plumb out. I mean, a fire extinguisher, not hydrant. How about a little pick-me-up? Oh, boy. Yeah, Joker has that remote control that's controlling that fan. Yeah, and Batman comes to Andrea's rescue here. Man, that has to be like just as about equal to a tornado that would cause such air to like move like that. Boy, it's amazing, and how Joker, you know, just made this thing. Boy, it's incredible. Reminds you so much of Twister. even though this movie came out like 2.5 years before it. And as Batman tells Andrea, "What will vengeance solve?" or he asks her that, and then she replies that obviously he of all people would know the answer. But that's the thing, Batman discourages people to go after vengeance because he knows what it's caused them. Yoo-hoo! Oh. Warner Brothers logo on that little thing of that big town model that they're on. Pretty amazing on how Joker's a little bit better of a fighter than you would think. Yeah, more of those little plane robots. Yeah, did Joker run into Baxter Stockman by any chance? Ah, it's just a joke. Yeah, Batman knows as always he can't let him get away. Yeah, and right here, the Joker gets on his jetpack. Yeah, that little back of this jetpack, I was watching the 60s Adam West show, and I noticed that Mr. Freeze and that George Sanders, he had, on the back of his Freeze suit, he had some fire extinguisher looking things on the back of that. Coincidentally, yeah, it just resembles. Oh, man. Yeah, and Joker even uses this jetpack on the final boss of the Adventures of Batman and Robin game on the Super Nintendo, which I've managed to beat before. Only I've never really beat it on the cartridge though, because the emulator makes it so much easier for that. For once, I'm stuck without a punchline, says Joker. Down goes the House of the Future, officially this time. Oh, man, the way the Joker just bursts out laughing, like not even caring what Andrea's going to most inevitably do to him. Yeah, and according to the comic adaptation, which I figured out online thanks to a source, I figured out what Andrea actually did to the Joker and like how he survived this movie. Even though it's obvious that Andrea did want to at least torture the Joker. Well, she does that, but apparently it wasn't all the job finished. It's always good to know that Kevin Conroy was on call when it came to playing the character Batman, and he will dearly be missed. Just another thing, I just got so much I want to complete before I finish up the rest of 2022. Gonna probably be creating little to nothing for uploads of 2023. I kind of need a big break. Way things are in my life now and everything. Also need to make sure that 2023 I get a little bit more exercise in and everything. Try to lose more weight. I'm a diabetic now too, so yeah, just very sad what we're seeing here. We realize how deep this ending is. Well, here we have the very last part of Batman Mask of the Phantasm with Batman looking upon the signal as he did at the end of Batman 89 and what Catwoman did at the end of Batman Returns. Well, now that the movie is over, my final thoughts on the animated series movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm from 1993, I would definitely give this movie a 8 out of 10. It's definitely a very great one. I mean, it's maybe got a few flaws thrown in here and there. I can't even think if I'd even rate anything really a 10 or an 11 or whatever, but I mean, 8's a pretty good score. It's a very beyond passable movie. And if you're looking for a great movie to watch that's Batman related, I would give this one a go. And anyway, my regards and, everything that's been going on, right now. My condolences to Kevin Conroy's family, his fellow fans, and his friends. May he rest in peace. It's sad that he passed away at 66, a little bit short of his 67th birthday. But he did wonderful stuff with this role that we will greatly admire him for forever. Anyway, I am out.